All right, cool. So let's get started, guys. You won't waste any more time, right? Firstly, we'll be learning about what and how of data science, what it is. Then we will also learn about what are the tools that are required, what will you be learning, and what you should know, right? We will also talk about future careers and potential prospects and salaries that you will be earning if you actually get into this field. Then we will have an open Q&A where you guys can ask me any questions that you guys have regarding your regarding your profile, regarding data science, regarding Newton, right? So anything that you guys want me to ask, you guys can ask, right? Sounds good, guys? Everybody excited? Yes, no? Okay, great, cool. So since you guys are excited, let's actually start with introduction. One disclaimer that I would like to give you guys is this is going to be a super engaging session. So if I ask you guys anything, please try to respond as much as you can. I will not ask you any technical questions. Just try to respond with a yes, no, and try to ask a lot of questions, right? Because if you ask questions, then that is how you will learn, right? And that is what I expect from you guys. That is all I need from you guys, right? Is try to be engaging and try to be more responsive so that you guys can also learn and doesn't feel like a lecture where only I'm speaking, right? So we don't want that. We want a conversation and not where only I'm speaking, right? All right, cool. So guys, what I'll do is I'll give you guys my introduction first, and then we will talk a little bit about you guys as well. So hi guys, I'm Manvi Sharma. I'm going to be your instructor for today. I'm not sure if you've attended any of my previous lectures, but if you have, well and good. If you haven't, then welcome to the session. If I talk about myself, I've done my BTech in computer science. I graduated in 2019 from Narsi Munji, Bombay. Right. Please let me know, guys, if I'm going fast. Then I'll slow down. Right. Just let me know on the chat. Okay. We will keep the session according to your feedback. Okay. So all right. So if I talk about my background, I've done my BTech. Okay, sure. I'll slow down. Okay, cool. I'll slow down. All right. So I've done my BTech from Narsi Munji in computer science. I graduated in 2019. Post that, I have about 5 years of professional experience now. Yeah, I think it's been more than 5 years now since I've been working. Every time I say this, I just get like very overwhelmed that, oh my God, it's been 5 years. But yeah, so it's been 5 years. But I started. It's been like a very varied and diverse journey. So I started with ZS Associates. It's a pharma consulting firm. I was majorly involved in analytics there. Worked there for about 2 years. I learned a lot about pharma data, learned a lot about how analysis is done, learned a lot about problem solving, right? So learned a lot there. Then I moved to Zomato. Everybody has heard about Zomato. सब लोग खाना order करते हैं, yes, no? Okay, that's really great. Cool, perfect. All right. So okay, great. So I worked at Zomato as a senior business analyst and a product analyst for some time, for about 2 years. And recently, about a year back, I have joined Lenskart. Everybody has heard about Lenskart, by the way? Yes, no? Okay, great, cool. Samne suna hai. Great. So currently, I work at Lenskart as a product manager in the online team. So whatever features that you see on the app, some of them are definitely made by me at the Lenskart app. So so please go ahead and do see some features, and you can definitely see some of them are made by me. So that is really great. So I work at Lenskart, and of course, if I talk about additionally what I do, I'm also a mentor at Newton School. So I've been associated with Newton School for quite some time, and I have about 10 to 15 mentees under me who I guide on a daily basis. I help them with their problem solving. I help them with their assignments, quizzes. I also help them with some of the doubts that they have, right, on a daily basis. I also help them with their placement training. So they recently, a couple of them got placed. Actually, a lot of them got placed recently, and so I help them with their mock interviews, how the interview of a company is going to be structured, how their resume should look like, and then how, of course, how their LinkedIn profile should look like. Right, these are very important factors when you apply for a job. Right, so this is everything that we do teach at Newton, and of course, I've been teaching my mentees as well. We also help them with what kind of Excel questions are going to be asked, what kind of SQL questions are going to be asked, if there they're applying for a data analyst role. If they're applying for a data scientist role, then that is a totally different thing, right? So that is my introduction in 3 minutes. And I would love to hear a little bit about you guys, because I think we're meeting for the first time. I just want to know a little bit about you guys. So I would just like you guys to introduce yourselves. So if you're a student, you can mention you're a student and what are you studying, which year are you in, where are you from. If you're a working professional, then you can mention where are you from, where are you working, and which department you're working in, and how many years of experience do you have, right? So please go ahead, guys. I would love to know a little bit about you guys. So please go ahead and introduce yourselves. You can type it on the chat, or if you want to speak, you can speak as well. How's interaction with Piyush Bansal? Okay, yeah, he's great. He's great, guys. I mean, you've definitely seen him in Shark Tank, but he's great, very, very smart. We get a lot of ideas from him. So, yeah, definitely he's great. Hi, Rashid. Hi, Rashid. You're from Kolkata. That's really great. Welcome to the class. All right, guys. I need introductions. Come on. Let's do some introductions. Guys, I introduced myself for like 3-4 minutes, so I need you guys also to introduce yourself at least for 2 minutes. Okay, I'm a mathematics faculty and teaching JE students. I'm from Rajasthan. Oh, that's really great, Sunil. I mean, respect. I'm Masood Rahim from Jammu and Kashmir. Oh, that's really great. I love Kashmir. I mean, it's so beautiful. Like it's the best. It's the most beautiful place in India. Been there 2 times. Hi, I'm Praveen from AP now. I'm working in Sri Electrical Engineering, works as Hyderabad as a junior electrical engineer. Oh, that's really great, Praveen. Welcome to the class. Geetanjali, BSc Computer Science graduation in 2023. Oh, that's really great, Geetanjali. Done Masters in English Literature. Oh, that's really great. Aarti from MNIT Jaipur, Himanshu from Gurgaon. Oh, I'm also from Gurgaon. Welcome to the class. Working professional, 4 years, core finance, MBA. Great. I'm from Andhra Pradesh. All right. Myself, Sanjay, just completed my MSc in bioinformatics and living in Faridabad just as a fresher. All right, cool. That's really great. Guys, I think we have varied experience today. I mean, people from all kinds of backgrounds. So that's really great. From Adarsh, BSc Cyber Forensic and now seeking for a job. Okay. Zainul Asif, Ayurveda doctor. Great. BCA pass out, working professionally as a section assistant. All right. From Telangana, BTech Mechanical. All right, that's really great. So everybody, welcome to the class and thank you so much for introducing yourself. So why I do this and why I tell you guys to introduce yourself is I get to know a little bit about you guys. So I structure the session accordingly, right? Because people from non-tech background, how do you explain to them? That is very different from how do you explain from a person from a technical background, right? So we start with basics, we go to advanced, right? And we'll be talking with a lot of examples so you guys can understand better, right? So thank you so much again for introducing yourself. Let's quickly start the session now. And all right, cool, great. Okay, perfect. So guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about data science, right? So first I would like to know from you guys, what do you know about data science, right? So could you guys just type on the chat a one-liner of what do you think data science is? Playing with data, okay. You guys can answer, just give me 1 minute. I'm going to plug my charger real quick. Okay, data science is an interdisciplinarily field that involves the extraction of knowledge and insights from structured and unstructured data using scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems. Okay, great. I can't say your name, but that's really great. Okay, generating insights from large data exploration, all right. Getting information from data and generating analytic information, i.e., reports. All right, great. Cool. I need more answers. Come on, guys. What do you think data science is? Yeah, I figured, but it's okay. At least people are trying, so that's really great. I don't. I'm a very big fan of Google, right? So even if you Google, I'm fine with it. Because whenever you Google, you learn something new, right? That is my motto in life. I will keep myself mute now. No, that is not what we want. I'm not able to see your name, SN, right? I'm not sure about your name. So if you could just tell me your name. But we don't want you to be mute. We want you to say and, engage in the class. Converting a huge amount of data into sensible data, which is an AI, all right. Data science is basically a process of collecting, analyzing, and visualization, making some good prediction for future aspects. All right, data science is a field that is used in scientific method. Okay, cool. So I've gotten some very good study of data to extract meaningful insights of business. Okay, so I've gotten some really good answers. So you guys have definitely researched and you guys know a little bit about data science, which is something that makes me super happy. Right, I've gotten a couple of more responses, so I'll read that before actually deep diving into it. Collecting and analyzing data is an efficient manner using different tools. Where the problem is lying, what all things you should look at. That is really great, Deep. Combination of statistics, computer science, and domain expertise to extract meaningful insights from various data. All right, that is really great. All right, guys. So great responses. Thank you so much. Now let me quickly explain it to you in something in a language that you guys will understand better, right? So have you guys used Instagram, everybody? Yes, no? सबने Instagram use करा है? Don't tell me no. All right. So people who've not used Instagram might have used Facebook. Guys, have you used Facebook? There is Reels and Shorts on Facebook. There is YouTube as well, right? There are Shorts. Everybody has used that. All right. So Instagram is just a platform where you get different kinds of videos. You scroll through the videos and you get different kind of content. You can, of course, I think you guys know what Instagram is definitely, even if you've not used it. All right. So great. Cool. So Instagram, guys, have you, so most of you guys, since you've used it, right? So have you ever, experienced this that, raat mein, at 12 a.m. in the night, you just open Reels and then you think that, okay, I will scroll for 10-15 minutes and then I'll go to sleep, right? But you keep scrolling for 2.5 hours and then you end up sleeping at 3 a.m. in the night, right? Has that happened with anybody? Yes, no? Oh wow, thank God I'm not alone. No, it does not happen only with me, happens with everybody. So that's really great. Cool. So I think it will be easy for me then to explain, right? You guys can definitely relate. Okay, great. So that happens with a lot of us, right? Now, that is not our fault, guys. Just keep that in your mind. That is not your fault at all, right? That is Instagram's fault, and we will understand why and how, right? So Instagram, what it does is, right? So see, I'm very much, I'm very much interested in cricket, right? And abhi recently World Cup hua tha, right? The T20 World Cup happened where India won, so that's really great. I was watching a lot of cricket reels, right? Now, I used to watch a lot of cricket reels, and whenever I used to scroll, right, हमेशा मेरे feed पे सिर्फ cricket reels होती थी, right? So Does that happen with a lot of you as well, right? So the memes that you watch, let's say you watch a lot of Bollywood content, or you watch a lot of memes, or you watch a lot of dark humor, right? So those kind of reels actually come, or those kind of posts actually come in your feed a lot, right? Does that happen with you guys? Yes, right. Now, how does Instagram know what do you like, right? Instagram को कैसे पता चलता है that okay, no, Manvi loves cricket. Let's say Rahim loves Bollywood, right? So, how does Instagram know, right? How does Instagram know that okay, this user, right? Because Instagram has millions and millions of users, right? सिर्फ हम Instagram use नहीं करते हैं, right? Instagram is used by a lot of people around the world, right? Not even India, right? Around the world, right? So, how does Instagram know this, right? So what Instagram does is, yes, very good, right? Their AI algorithms recommendation, yes, that is what we're going to talk about today, right? Now this, everything is related to data science, right? Now what Instagram does is, I will explain you very simply, right? So let's say Instagram considers three parameters, right? Of every user, they will consider three parameters, right? Let's say, what are you liking, right? What kind of content you're liking. You press like whenever you like something, you tend to share it with your friends, you tend to spend more time on that particular post or video, right? Everybody agrees with me? Yes, no? Okay, great, cool, perfect, right? So what it does is, so let's say Instagram ने आपके three parameters record कर लिए, right? What kind of content you're liking, what kind of content you're sharing, and how much time you're spending on that particular content or reel or post, right? So let's say they consider these three parameters, right? Now these three parameters would be different for every user, right? So for me, it would be different. For Sanjay, it would be different. For Rashid, it would be different. For Sabir, it would be different, right? So for every person who's using Instagram, these parameters would be different. Yes or no? Yes, right? Now what Instagram does is, right, Instagram creates a model where it fits these parameters, and using these parameters, it actually generates recommendations for every users, right? So for example, if I love cricket reels, right, I tend to like it a lot, I tend to share it with a lot, and I tend to spend more time on the app, right? So मेरी जो category है over cricket, right, that would be very heavy on the cricket side. Whereas if somebody is watching Bollywood reels, their parameters would be heavier on the Bollywood side, right? So every reel or every post is categorized into a category, right? Where these parameters are evaluated, and that is how Instagram gives us recommendations. That is why for every user, right, the recommendations that Instagram generates is very different, right? So that is why now, since you guys like it, right? So for example, if I love cricket, and Instagram keeps showing me cricket reels, right? So I will just keep scrolling because abhi to main, let's say, T20 World Cup follow kari thi, right? They will show me some reel which is like 10 years old, where Sachin is doing something or Dhoni is doing something, right? Which I've totally forgotten, but now I'm actually interested in, right? They will show me a very old match which I'm super interested. So I would want to watch that, right? Because I am actually interested in that, right? So that is how they actually give you content and recommendations, and that is how they actually manipulate you into spending more time on the app, right? The more you engage on the app, the more likely to you are to spend more time on the app, the more likely they will generate more revenue, right? So that is what every app does, right? Are you guys clear on this? How does Instagram function? Okay, now this, what Instagram does is called a recommendation system, right? Now recommendation system is nothing but basically a part of data science, right? Using data science, a recommendation system is created, right? You don't have to uninstall these apps, just think of what they're doing to you and just spend lesser time, right? Don't just get into that, okay, I will watch these reels, I will spend more time on these reels. So yeah, anyway, right? So can you guys give me some more examples where these kind of recommendation systems are used? Have you guys used some apps where you guys have seen this kind of recommendation system? Zomato, yes, that's really great. Flipkart, yes, great. Google, Amazon, Netflix, perfect. Spotify, Netflix, yes, amazing. Google Ads, yes. You guys forgot a very, very good example. YouTube, yes. That is what I was looking for. Yes, great. YouTube does it the best. LinkedIn, right? Now just imagine, guys, like let's say you're a vegetarian, you're a pure vegetarian, and आप हमेशा Zomato में you just place a vegetarian order, okay? And let's say somehow Zomato starts showing you the top recommendation as non-veg dishes, right? Will you stay on the app? No, right? I don't want to look at like non-veg dishes. I'm a pure vegetarian. You've seen my orders, right? I will immediately switch to Swiggy, right? And I will place an order from Swiggy. I'm a Zomato loyalist, so I don't do that. But in case Zomato does this, I will definitely, because I'm a vegetarian, so I will definitely do that, right? So that is why it is very important for these apps to understand user history or user data, right, to actually give you recommendations, so you stay more on that app, right, and you use their app more. Okay, so that is the entire crux of what data science is. Right now, some people mentioned Netflix, so we are going to actually understand different kinds of recommendation systems. No, I'm not vegan. I don't follow vegan diet at all. Can't don't I can't. Yeah, so let's try to understand a little bit with more examples, right? Was this part clear, everybody? Were you guys able to understand how these apps use data science? Okay, I'm just waiting for your responses. Yes, no. All right. Okay, great. Perfect. All right. So if you guys understood this, let's try to deep dive more into some examples. Right. Now, everybody has seen Netflix? Yes, no? Netflix नहीं तो Prime Video या Hotstar या Jio या whatever, right? All OTT, right? Because I think COVID में हम सब ने यही करा था, right? We didn't have anything to do, so we did only this. So yeah, that's great, right? So let's take somebody's example, right? We'll take Sanjay's example here. Let's see Sanjay, right? Let's say Sanjay loves watching action movies. I don't know if Sanjay loves watching action movies or not, but we will just take an example, right? So let's say Sanjay loves watching action movies, right? Sorry about that. All right. So I would like to ask you guys, how many of you have seen Salar? Have you guys seen it? Anyone? Okay. Amazing. I have a very good audience today, which makes me super happy. So that's great. Okay. So since you guys have watched Salar, right? So let's say Sanjay has recently watched Salar, right? And Sanjay loves action movies, right? So he's seen Salar, which is an action movie. Now let's say Sanjay is done with the movie and he wants to watch a similar movie, right? Which is an action movie. So let's say he wants to watch a similar movie, right? And you guys, let's say you guys actually need to recommend something to Sanjay, right? Now, can you tell me which movie would Sanjay watch, or which one would you recommend out of all of these movies, right? One is KGF, somebody just mentioned KGF, then Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, and then Pushpa, right? So which of these movies will you recommend to Sanjay, or which one of these movies would Sanjay watch next, right? If he loves watching action movies. Okay, I've already gotten answers. KGF, 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 Pushpa, KGF, KGF, KGF. Okay. Are you guys not seeing Pushpa? Or you just love KGF too much? KGF and Pushpa both. Kalki, okay. We want to give suggestions that are there on the screen. Okay, YJHD. Okay, Shivanshu has different takes, so that's really great. Sanjay, yeah, I think I would also love YJHD because it is like an evergreen movie which everybody loves. But it is falling in more genres. KGF 2, Pushpa, oh my god. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. I've gotten a lot of suggestions for Sanjay. So, Sanjay, now do you have your next movie that you want to watch? You've already gotten a lot of suggestions. Oh my god, somebody's saying John Wick. Okay, great. All right, cool. Right. So, all right. So you guys, I already watched all. Oh, that's really great. Cool. So we were right about you that you love action movies. Okay. So a lot of you actually said KGF and Pushpa, right? Now you guys might have seen Netflix, right? So Netflix क्या करता है? Netflix has a recommended for you section. Everybody has seen that section, recommended for you section? Okay, great. Cool. So let's try to understand if Sanjay was a user on Netflix, right? Sanjay ne let's say Salar dekhi Netflix pe. What would Netflix recommend Sanjay? Right. So this is basically a snapshot of Netflix, right? And Netflix has recommended two movies to Sanjay. What are these two movies? Were you guys right about it? Were you guys right about what Sanjay would like to watch? हाँ बोलो guys, you were right. Yeah, right. So you guys are able to see my screen, right? Okay, great. I was right. Yes, a lot of you were right, right? Some people who said only KGF. Definitely, I think Pushpa is also in the same category. So Netflix actually recommended the two movies, right? But Netflix ne kaise kara, right? Now, let's say Sanjay is our friend. Everybody of us knows Sanjay, right? तो हमें पता है संजय को action movies पसंद है and just we just recommended Sanjay some action movies, right? How does Netflix know, right? Which movies does Sanjay like? Tell me. We just spoke about it, so you guys should know this. How does Netflix know that Sanjay wants to watch KGF and Pushpa? Watch history, okay. Action movies, great. It's a long answer. Wow, wow, that is a very amazing answer, right? Like it's a long answer. Okay, genre action, similar category, algorithm. Because okay, so even if it's a long answer, I want you to give me like a one word or a two word answer or a one line answer. Algorithm, okay, because he's watching action, which means he likes action one also. Sanjay, you should not talk in third person. We are talking about you. Recommender system, all right, great. Genre, perfect. Interest, it's an algorithm. AI, okay. Okay, guys, don't feel bad if I just like take your examples. I hope that's fine. I mean, I can take my example also if you guys are not fine with it. So all right. Okay, cool. Genre sci-fi because he likes action and Marpetine movies. Yes, correct. Right. So everybody has given me a lot of answers, which is really great. Right. So yes to all of you. Right. Netflix actually identifies what you have watched in the past, right? जैसे मैंने आपको बोला था Instagram three parameters consider करेगा to actually understand what you like, right? So not only three, they have multiple parameters. I was just taking three as an example, right? Okay, got it. Okay, so that's great, Sanjay. All right. So, how does Netflix do it, right? So, Netflix is able to. So, you're using Netflix for quite some time, right? Let's say you're watching a lot of movies on Netflix. So, Netflix, whenever you use any app, right, you give them the liberty to actually collect your data, right? तो आपने जो भी देखा है, आपने कितना टाइम स्पेंड करा है, आपने क्या मूवी लाइक करी है, आपने क्या टीवी सीरीज लाइक करी है, everything is recorded by Netflix as a data, right? So Netflix is able to identify, let's say you watched an action movie, right? So you might have searched a lot of keywords regarding some movies, you might have served a lot of movies, you might have opened so Netflix पे दो चीजें होती है, right? There is a listing page where all the movies are listed, and then you click on the movie, you get only that movie ka page, and then you play, and then you click the play button, right? Then you can play the movie, right? So Netflix can also identify which kind of movies you have clicked on the most, what kind of movies you're searching, right? That is how they consider these parameters. They actually put it into an algorithm, and they actually recommend you very similar movies, right? Then let's say movies of the same type, right? So, for example, you're watching a certain genre, right? So, let's say there are five genres, right? And your heavy weightage is towards a particular genre, right? One or two genres. So, Netflix will take, let's say, आपने 100 movies देखी है, right? 70% of the movies that Sanjay has watched, for example, are action movies, right? So Netflix को वो number दिखेगा, which is 70%. So Netflix will actually assume that Sanjay loves action movies, right? So whatever the interest of Sanjay is, whatever Sanjay is watching, that is how Netflix knows, because Netflix is collecting data, right? This process is called as recommendation, which we have already spoken about. We just understood how Netflix does it. Okay, is this clear, guys? Everybody? Yes, no? Okay, anybody who did not understand, should I explain it again? Is this clear? Okay, it is very important for you to understand because now we are actually going to go deep dive into the data, how data analysis is done, how data science is done, right? Because now you've understood what apps do. Now let's understand how do you actually do it, right? So, okay, I've already shared the slide, which is something that I should not have done. So, all right, cool. So, now we have been talking about Instagram, we've been talking about Netflix a lot, right? What is that one thing which is common in all of these examples? What is that one thing which is common? Now you guys know because you've seen this next slide, but yeah. Okay, that's really smart. Yes. Data, data, yes, 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 yes. Data, right? So what do you think data is? Can you guys tell me what do you think data is? Information, raw information. Okay, facts. Data is everything. Wow, wow. Sabir is giving some great answers. Collection of information, already written raw observations. Great. What about the others, guys? Can you tell me what data is? All matters are data. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, yes to all of you. So yes, data is nothing but information, right? Information about you, information about me, information about anybody who is, if we talk about companies and if we talk about apps, right? So anybody who is using that app, what they are doing on the platform is data for that company, right? So that is what data is, right? Data can be collected, right? So for example, whatever you do on the app is collected as data by these apps. If we take example of Netflix, the Netflix आपका data collect करता है, basically your watch history, what you're let's say what you're watching, how much time you're spending, how many times did you click cross, what kind of categories you are seeing, etc., etc., right? Then they store that data. They have a data warehouse, they have certain data cloud, and they store their data in the cloud, right? Then they analyze that data, right? When they analyze that data, that is how they're able to generate insights, and that is how they're able to recommend you movies, right, which you would like to watch, right? So that is the entire process of how data is collected, stored, and analyzed. Okay? Are you guys clear on what data is? Yes, no? And companies कैसे use करती है data? Okay, great. Cool. Now there are two types of data, right? There is numerical data and there is categorical data. Okay, हम ordered, unordered, nominal, ordinal में नहीं जाएंगे because I will just explain you two types of data, right? Just imagine quantitative and qualitative, right? Anything which can be measured is called as numerical or quantitative data. Anything which cannot be measured is called as qualitative data. Can somebody give me examples of numerical data or quantitative data? Netflix का example लेना. What is a numerical data in Netflix, for example? For Netflix, what is a numerical data or quantitative data? Time watched, yes, great. Views, perfect. Guys, आप लोग आधा data science यहीं सीख जाओगे. That is great. Number of movies watched, yes, great. Likes, dislikes, sharing, perfect, right? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So you guys get the gist of it, right? Okay. Reviews, okay, cool. Okay, reviews is something that I can question on, right? Is reviews quantitative data? No, right? If you talk about ratings, yes, right? So if I'm rating something from 1 to 5, yes, it is quantitative data. But if I'm giving an actual review, which where I'm writing something, that is not quantitative data. What are some examples of qualitative data? Okay, आप लोगों ने मुझे quantitative data के perfect examples दिए. So whatever you said, yes, it is quantitative data. Okay, genre types, perfect, Amrita. This is really great. Yes. What? I need some more examples of qualitative data. We'll only talk about Netflix so that you guys get the gist of, you guys maintain a flow. यूजर इन्फॉर्मेशन, राइट? सो माय नेम, राइट? जैसे आप लोग क्या करते हो, यू वेन एवर यू साइन इन नेटफ्लिक्स, राइट, यू गिव योर ईमेल आईडी, यू गिव योर फोन नंबर, यू गिव योर date of, I don't know if you give your date of birth, you give your name, etc., right, gender, etc., right? This is what is called as qualitative data, right, which cannot be measured, right? These are attributes or characteristics. ठीक है? Then for example, reviews, right? Somebody mentioned reviews here. The reviews, if you write some reviews, then it is qualitative data, right? Quantitative data is something that can be measured, right? Like views, streams, the time watched, number of subscriptions, number of users, etc., right? So this is all quantitative data. Is this clear, the difference between quantitative and qualitative data? Okay, perfect, right? Now we've understood what data is. Now we've understood what are the various kinds of data, right? What is data science, right? What is the science of data, right? Let's try to understand what is the science of the data, right? So I usually try to break down data science into a tree structure, right? So everybody knows what a tree is? Yes, no? सबको पता है guys? पेड़. I've only seen 3 yeses. How do you guys not know what a tree is? Not decision tree. I'm talking about a normal tree. Okay, cool. Great. I was just waiting for these yeses. Great. So you guys know what a tree is, right? Now, tree mein there are 3 parts, right? There is a cone, then there are branches, and then there is a root. Okay? Everybody can imagine? Yes, no? Okay, perfect, right? So what we do is we start with the cone, right? So data science or data analytics starts with a problem statement, right? There is always a problem to solve. ठीक है? हमेशा कुछ भी चालू होता है problem statement से, right? So let's say why would a recommendation system have started in Netflix, right? Who told you to recommend me something, right? Because with so many options, users are very confused as to what to watch, right? So if I already recommend them something, right, they will have their decision already made for them, right? They won't have to scroll through all of this, right? So when you go shopping, there are so many choices, you tend to get confused. अगर आपको एक section में बता देगा कि अच्छा यहाँ ये वाले section में चले जाओ, यहाँ पे आपको मिल जाएगी चीजें, right? So then it becomes easier for you as a user, right? That is what Netflix is also trying to do, right? So everything starts with a problem statement, right? अब problem statement को हम क्या करते हैं? We break it down into different problems, छोटे-छोटे problem statements, right? So how to identify new problems? That is a very, very good question, which I'm going to take right now because that is an amazing question to ask, right? How do you identify a new problem, right? एक new problem भी data से identify होती है and एक problem solve भी data से होती है, right? Everything happens through data, right? Now let's say I'm a product manager right now, right? So I'm working on certain projects, right? Now how do I identify those projects? कि मेरे को वो project कैसे identify होंगे, right? So for example, let's say I recently did a project, right? So for example, Lenskart mein there are multiple lenses, right? So there are multiple lenses where user does not understand which lens does what, right? So how will the user buy, right? How will the user buy because they do not understand what lenses does what, right? In stores there are of course people to explain, but online when you're scrolling the app you cannot understand, right? So what I did is to explain the feature better, right? Let's say I introduced a page, right, which highlights everything about that lenses, right? That is basically how I identified key ये एक problem statement है, right? Because then I analyze the data, right? कि how many users are purchasing, how many users are dropping off from a certain page, right? And how many users, what kind of problem statements are users confused with, right? I obviously call also certain users to understand what kind of problems they are facing. So you tend to identify the problem statement with a mix of data and user feedback, right? That is how you identify a problem statement. Okay. Then what you do is once you've identified the problem statement, you break it down into certain parts. Okay. मुझे अगर recommendation system बना है, what kind of parameters do I need for a recommendation system, right? What kind of user data do I need for a recommendation system, right? So I'll break it down into certain parts, right? Let's say for a person who's coming for the first time, for a person who's already used Netflix, right? The approach would be very different, right? So I will break it down into smaller parts. Okay. Now I have broken down into smaller parts. उसके बाद I think of a possible solution, right? कि मैं क्या solution दे सकती हूँ इन दो categories के हिसाब से, and then I subsequently plan my approach, right? Once I've planned my approach, I've reached to the root of the problem, right? Because मैंने root भी पहचान लिया है, मैंने branches भी कर लिए हैं, and मैंने cone भी कर लिया है, right? So the cone was the problem statement. You broke it down into several parts. You reached to the root of the problem, and then you identified the solution, right? So you always follow a tree structure whenever you're doing any analysis, right? Is that clear, guys? So understanding the problem statement and formulating your approach is very important when you're actually going into data science or data analytics, right? That is the first problem statement, right? What is the, just give me 1 minute, guys. Sorry about that. Wow, are you guys tracking what I'm doing on the side? Okay, okay, that is not cool, but okay, cool. All right. So sorry, that was a personal thing, but okay. So yeah, what is the next step? The next step is collecting relevant data. Okay, let's say मेरा problem statement है. I want to identify which genre is watched the most by users in on Netflix. ठीक है. अब उसके लिए do I need user name or user email ID? Do I need that? Yes or no? नो राइट वाई वुड आई नीड दैट राइट मुझे बस चाहिए कि कौन सा जॉनर is watched the most, right? So I will just have genre and I will have the number of views in that genre, right? So I will just get the topmost genre that is watched, right? I don't need a username, user email ID, user age, user gender, etc., right? So collecting relevant data of your according to your problem statement is very important because आपके पास abundant of data है, right? आपके पास abundance of data है. You don't need every kind of data to solve every kind of problem, right? So just collect relevant data, right? Is that clear? Yes, no? Okay, great. Cool. Then comes cleaning and processing the data, right? So how do you clean and process the data, right? So let's say I have to actually analyze the phone numbers of users, right? Ki how many phone numbers do I have? Let's say I need phone numbers, right? अब कहीं कहीं पे phone numbers पे let's say +91 लिखा हुआ है, कहीं कहीं पे 91 लिखा हुआ है, कहीं कहीं पे सिर्फ 10 digit का phone number है, right? So I have to clean the data because not the entire data is not clean, right? Somebody actually uploads the data, but कभी कभी हो जाता है कि data is not clean, right? So you have to clean the data, validate the data, and organize the data, right? So that is the third step of data science, right? Is that clear? Okay, great. Perfect. Now, what is the fourth part? The fourth part is EDA, which is exploratory data analysis, which is analyzing the data, right? So let's say I want to understand key, what can I do new for repeat users on Netflix, right? Let's say this is my problem statement, right? So what I'll do is I'll collect the relevant data, right? So let's say there are people who actually if you don't sign in, that's also fine, right? Because they have created a recommendation algorithm for new users as well, right? People who have never used the site, right? So that is what they do when you don't sign up, right? That algorithm runs on you when you don't sign up, right? When you sign in, they have your customer ID. Using that customer ID, they will run that recommendation for you because they will get your metrics, right? They will get your parameters, data parameters, right? Now you analyze the data, right? So if you want to understand what is happening with people who have been using your app for like 2-3 years, right? You want to do something new for them. You want to, let's say, increase their viewing time, right? What will you do? So then you analyze the data, right? You see, okay, repeat users, what kind of features they are using the most, right? Let's say they are using your filter feature the most. Let's say they are using your tile feature the most. Let's say they're using your scroll feature the most, right? So you can actually understand when you analyze this data, right? कि repeat users कर क्या रहे हैं सबसे ज़्यादा, what is the most viewership, right? That is what you can focus on. That is how you actually analyze data and generate insights out of it, right? You actually break it down into certain parts, right? And you analyze that data, right? So that is what about analyzing the data is, right? You actually get a lot of insights while analyzing the data, right? Data is so important, right? Like for example, I'll give you an example of Lenskart, right? We wanted to change 10 rupees in a certain like eyeglass, right? uh, 2 days we discussed only data, right, to change that 10 rupees, right? So just imagine the power of data that there is, right? Then comes modeling, right? Once you've identified the parameters, once you've identified the problem statement, once you've analyzed the data, once you have understood what kind of user set you want to run it on, right? Because आपके new user, जैसे अभी किसी ने बोला, right, if I don't sign in I still get recommendations, right? So if you're a new user, you're a repeat user, what you should see, what kind of parameters do you want to consider. If you've done all of that, you put it into a model, right? And you build and train that model, right? Once you've trained that model, you evaluate the results, right? जब आपका model run होता है, in the starting, in the initial few days, you validate the results. If it is working fine, you analyze the data of some users, and then you deploy your model, right? After deployment, again you analyze the results, and धीरे धीरे once users start using that model, right? So once users start using that model, you can train that model more, right? So automatically model trains itself. But up accordingly, if you want to make some changes according to the user behavior, you can, right? So ऐसा नहीं होता है कि आपने सब कर लिया, आपने मॉडलिंग कर ली, मॉडल बना लिया, डिप्लॉय कर लिया, प्रोडक्ट बना लिया, राइट? You have to analyze if that product is a market fit, if that is well accepted by users. Visualization and strategization, right? Not everybody understands data, not everybody understands numbers, so it is very important for us to give them results visually, right? जब आप graphs में देते हो, जब आप charts में data बना के देते हो, तो everybody understands that, right? Because let's say you're presenting something to a business stakeholders जिसको number नहीं समझ में आते, right? अगर आप एक graph दिखाओगे जो ऐसे plane की तरह ऊपर जा रहा है, तो उसको समझ में आ जाएगा, oh my sales is going up, right? If you're showing a graph that is going down, and then you'll realize, oh my sales is going down, what is happening, and all of that, right? So that is how you present your data. It is very important to visualize the data. You can either use Tableau, you can either use Power BI, right? Yes, A/B testing, right? A/B testing is done a lot in product companies, right? So guys, were you able to, that was all from my side by the way, but were you able to understand all of this? Did you guys understand? Yes, no? Did you guys have fun? हाँ, मुझे तो लग रहा है आप लोग डेटा साइंस एक्सपर्ट्स बन गए हो. So if you guys actually understand this, then yes, you can definitely do data science, right? So if I talk about data science, right? So we've already spoken about the logic, and we've already spoken about how it is done. What are the tools that are used for data analysis and data science, right? So basic data analysis tools are Power BI, Excel, and SQL, right? इसमें SQL नहीं लिखा है, but SQL is a very important part, right? So ये तीन tools तो आने ही चाहिए, right? Without fail, right? Even if you're going into data analytics or data science, आपको ये tools आने चाहिए, right? One is SQL, one is Excel, one is Power BI or Tableau, any of that, right? Then one language you should know is Python, right? So either Python or R, whatever you're comfortable in, if you're going into core data science, right? तो अब आप जब डेटा साइंस, थोड़ा बहुत डेटा एनालिसिस के लिए भी पाइथन यूज होता है, मतलब अब तो बहुत ज्यादा होने लग गया है. नंपाई पांडास बहुत ज्यादा यूज होता है फॉर डेटा एनालिसिस. आई आल्सो यूज दैट अ लॉट, बट because it is faster, it has a lot of inbuilt libraries, so it is easy for us to analyze data using Python, right? All right, okay, so that is the second step, okay? Then you should know about the algorithms, right? So not every data set will work with one algorithm, right? Each data set requires a different kind of algorithm, right? तो आपको पता होना चाहिए क्लस्टरिंग क्या होता है, आपको पता होना चाहिए के मींस क्लस्टरिंग क्या होता है, आपको पता होना चाहिए क्लासिफिकेशन क्या होता है, आपको पता होना चाहिए डिसीजन ट्रीज क्या होता है, right? So there are different kinds of machine learning algorithms, right, which you should know to understand which algorithm works with what kind of data set, right? Then the third part is peers and networking, right? Whenever you go into a new industry, right, it is very important for you to have a network of people who are actually in that industry so that they can help you and guide you and motivate you, right? That is very important. I've always had a mentor in my life and my career, right, professionally and personally. So it has always helped me in my career and in my personal life, right? So that is one gyan from me that I'm giving you. Okay. So of course, I think we'll just skip through that, skim through the trends and all of that. But I will tell you, the growth that the data science industry has seen is definitely very high, right? So it has been exponentially growing, right? Last पिछले 10 साल में किसने सोचा था कि there'll be like self-driving cars, right? Anybody thought that? No. But now we do have that, right? We have Tesla, and cars are driving themselves, right? Like, I mean, what? what is happening, guys? So yes, so the industry is growing at a huge pace, and the demand for data scientists and data analysts and everybody in data has increased a lot, right? So that is why this field is very up and coming, right? Because a lot of job opportunities are opening in this field, right? And now a lot of people are upskilling themselves to actually get into this field, right? I've been in this field for so many years now, 5 years now, but this field never fails to surprise me because there is something new every day, right? I legit learn something new every day. I'm not even kidding, guys. Okay, so it is very important for you to upskill yourself, right? And yeah, that really helps. In the data science world, right, you can explore certain you can become a data analyst, you can become a business analyst, you can become a product analyst, you can go as a data scientist, right? So you can do a lot of you can go into a lot of roles when you actually want to get into this field. I started as a business analyst. All right. So, okay. So, do you guys know about Newton School? I think you guys have joined Newton School's class, so you guys definitely know about Newton School, right? So, if you guys are actually interested in all of this, and you guys actually enjoyed what I taught, everything that I taught will be actually taught at Newton School as well, right? Obviously, in depth, I gave you some examples. I obviously skipped through a lot of content, but you will be learning everything in depth at Newton School, right? The classes that Newton School has, of course, will be live classes. जैसे मैं अभी आपसे बात कर रही हूँ, right? वैसे ही there'll be teachers, there'll be experts. Who will be talking to you, who will be teaching you, right, from very very big companies, right? So let's say you're having an SQL session, so somebody who's, let's say, an SQL developer at Amazon will be teaching you, right? So those are the kind of teachers that you have, right? Then it is designed for working professionals. The curriculum is actually industry level, so whatever you actually learn at Newton is something that you will be doing at your job as well, right? That is one thing that I really love about Newton, right? Then it is designed for working professionals. So basically, it is a 9 to 11. You'll have classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it does not hamper with your job. You can do your job and take classes, right? Then yeah, I can take like some classes, not a lot of classes, but I will be taking some of the classes definitely. Then you have mentorship, right, where you have real-time doubt resolution. Then you have industry projects, right? So a lot of people say that, okay, we don't have the skill set. Even if we have the skill set, we are fresher, so we don't have projects, right? We don't have anything to showcase, right? So Newton gives you 30 plus real life industry projects, which will help you enhance your resume, right? Then you have lifetime placement assistance, right? जैसे let's say you get a job at Newton, right? Let's say you get a job at Newton. After 4 months into the course, you are eligible for placements, by the way, right? So it's a 12 to 14 month course, but 4 months में you are eligible for a data analyst role. तो 4 महीने में ही आपकी placement चालू हो जाएगी, right? And you might get placed also in 4 months. So nobody knows, right? Then there is a personal counselor. So once you get a job at Newton, right, you can just come back and ask for a job anytime, right? They cannot say no, right? They have a lifetime placement assistance, and of course you will have a lot of people with you who will be learning. The course starts from basics to advanced, right? So anybody even from a non-tech background can learn it. A lot of my mentees are one of my mentees was a jewelry designer, like for 5 years. She wanted to switch to data science, so she joined Newton. Now she's placed as a data analyst in a big company, so that's really great. Her name is Sagrika. If you want to actually search her on LinkedIn, it's Sagrika Keshri. So you can actually search her on LinkedIn as well. There is Sonakshi as well, who I taught for quite some time. There is Shubham Rani also. So these are very good examples of my mentees who I actually taught, and they were from non-tech backgrounds, and now they're doing really well. So that's really great. All right, cool. So what is the admission process? You can just go on the Newton School website. There will be a test. So first you have to give an eligibility test where you'll be asked certain normal logical reasoning questions. It's a very interesting test. It's built by data science experts, but it's not like data science heavy. It is only basic logical reasoning math questions where we just assess your aptitude. And then whatever score that you get, you'll be eligible for scholarships accordingly. And once you get the scholarship, that particular amount will be subtracted from your fees, and you can opt for EMI, or you can just pay the entire thing altogether if you have a lot of money. All right, cool. So that was all from my side, guys.